Okay, the time has come. Let's talk about psychedelics, a subject I'm interested in. I've been interested in for some time now. I should say, as a disclaimer, they are illegal in our country, and one should not do them. However, that being said, I've been taking psychedelics for 18 years or so, and I feel as though they have immense value in understanding and exploring the human psyche, as well as have helped shape me into the person I am today, of which I'm extremely proud to be. The psychedelics I've had most experience with are mushrooms, primarily. I know I've taken most of the classical psychedelics, LSD, MDMA, ayahuasca, mescaline, but it's the DMT containing plants that I find have the most value personally for me. I feel like they hit closer to home. They're more like our own neurotransmitters. They have very little or no toxicity. And they digest perfectly well. And can elicit states of euphoria and connectedness and oneness, and shed light on the workings of the mind, emotions, heart, soul, that kind of thing. And I'm very glad to see that nowadays psychedelic research has continued or become more of a thing, considering it was shut down for about 40 or 50 years after the psychedelic renaissance in the 60s and 70s. And for good reason, I suppose. They allow one to think for themselves, of which governments in general seek to maintain control of their people. And it's extremely hard to control your people when they see it as a con game. See through the veil, as it were, and start to think for themselves. It gets really, really dangerous for the powers that be. But there's no containing it. I mean, people have been using these things for untold thousands of years in indigenous cultures, and it was just new to the scene for us. And that's also why it made such a gigantic explosion, because we had no cultural context to put it in. And basically we're just taking this stuff willy-nilly and didn't really know what to do with the experiences, didn't really know how to ground them in anything, because they are a tool. They're not a method themselves. They're the tool that can aid and help opening a person's mind and certain things like that. But unless it's coupled with a method grounded in yoga, meditation, breath work, good diet, you know, actual ceremony and or ritual space and put in the correct context, that it kind of doesn't really work exactly the way it's supposed to. And people can kind of go out there and blow apart because they don't really know what to do with all of these amazing experiences. And I'm very glad that nowadays sort of started to happen. I think because of all the ayahuasca retreats and stuff, and people realizing that there's more to these things than what originally met the eye, and that if you ground them in one of the things or multiple of the things that I mentioned, then you can get so much more out of it. You can stay grounded. Remember your zip code, as Ram Dass says. Otherwise, it can get a little high in the sky. Lose your groundedness. And the trick is just to have 2 feet on the ground while sailing cosmic space. And I'd like to make a regular podcast about these things and my experiences and the experiences of others. I'm not really quite sure how to put that across safely for myself. So we'll see how that works, but as of now I've had hundreds and hundreds of psychedelic experiences, and I think that they're extremely valuable and wish to talk about them more and in more depth. And they're definitely not for everybody, has been said, but for the people that they are for, you get a lot out of them, that's for sure. A whole lot. And it's done people a whole lot of good. The Native Americans call it medicine for the right way of living. I believe that to be true. We can see our cultural conditioning, we can see our inherited conditioning, our environmental, all of that kind of stuff, the things that we pick up, these programs that we run, behaviors that we have based on old traumas or based off of people that we know, that we've picked up their stuff and run it as our own. And you can start to decondition yourself and essentially start from a place of newness and choice to choose differently and or anything that you want. And the amount of ridicule that I've gone through and alienation in this life or in this world based on smoking weed, being a pot-smoking hippie, as they say, is gross. And I just don't think that that's very good, exactly. And I know that there's a lot of people out there like me that have experienced all of that same kind of ridicule, shame, judgment. And it's worth it completely because you stay true to yourself, stay true to what you believe is right, based on your own experience. And that's what's really awesome about these plant teachers and psychedelic compounds, is that they excuse me, allow one to have an experience so that you can make the judgment call for yourself. You don't need anybody to tell you. You don't need anybody to stand up at the pulpit, as it were, preach down from on high on how everything is. Because like Terence McKenna says, nobody knows. I don't know. Nobody knows what's going on at all. Anybody that says they do has no clue. The only way that you can gain any insight into that ultimate reality, if you will, is to have the direct experience for yourself, and you make up your own damn mind. That's the best way. Anyway, first of, I hope, many talks about something that is extremely important to myself, and I know others as well. And I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Peace and love, homies.